So we are going to start last module of our training session, module number 11, administering monitoring. So when it comes to monitoring Azure infrastructure, in Azure we have a default tool which is known as Azure Monitor. So how we can use Azure Monitor to monitor Azure resources as well as on-premises. So we will understand in this lesson, in this module. Let me start this module. Let me show you lessons inside this module. First of all, configuring Azure Monitor. Second lesson, configuring Azure Alerts. Third, configuring log analytics. And then this module will be complete. Let me start with configuring Azure Monitor. So when it comes to Azure Monitor, in Azure Monitor, you will get two types of monitoring platform, which you can see, metrics and logs. So metrics, where you will get a near and real time log data, metrics data, which you can visualize. So metrics are numerical values like percentage CPU, disk read and write, network in and out. So you will get numerical values for your resources available for Azure resources, helping you to understand the health, operations, performance of your system. So it's a core monitoring platform for Azure services, Azure Monitor. When it comes to logs, we would be able to store logs. So you will get logs, activity logs. Activity log means where you would be able to trace your users activity on every scope level. What it does mean by scope levels? So inside your Azure account, first scope level will be subscription. Under subscription, you will get your resource group. Under resource group, you will get your resources. Resource. So you would be able to trace your user activity at subscription level, users who are performing, who are authorized to perform action, authorized and authenticated to perform actions. So what type of actions they are performing? If you want to track their actions on the resources, you will use activity log. Then we have diagnostic log for troubleshooting purpose, telemetry for monitoring solutions, analytics, queries, where you can query your logs, help with troubleshooting and visualization. So you can visualize and you can troubleshoot your infrastructure using those logs. So collect metrics, activity logs and diagnostic logs. Based on this metric data and based on this log analytic or activity log and diagnostic log, you can set up a alert on Azure. That is known as monitoring alert. Set up alert and action. So when alert will be triggered, you can perform a action. Correct? So Erika, I hope I'm audible to you. Great. So next, understanding Azure monitoring components. So when it comes to component, no worries. So when it comes to components, application monitoring data, we would be able to monitor application data, guest operating system monitoring data, Azure resource monitoring, Azure subscription monitoring, Azure tenant monitoring. So we can monitor tenant, subscription, resource, guest operating system, and application inside your virtual machine, which you will monitor, where you will monitor under Azure Monitor. And whatever monitoring data you are getting, either it would be metrics or logs, so that you can send to other Azure services, like for insights, for visualization purpose, like in Power BI, workbooks, dashboards, or you can analyze using log analytics. You can query your logs. You can respond by creating alerts, either directly into Azure Monitor, or you can use auto scaling VM scale set, where you can create alerts. You can integrate with Logic app or event hubs as well. So it means we will collect our monitoring data, which we can send to other Azure services for advanced actions. Define metrics and logs. So what is metric? What is log? So basically metrics are numerical values that describe some aspect of a system at a point in time. It means percentage CPU at this time, percentage CPU at this time. So you will be able to visualize performance of your CPU. This would be example. Similarly, we have different types of metrics which we can visualize. So it's also known as near and real time monitoring data. Next, log which contains different kind of data organized into records with different sets of properties for each type. So where we have log analytics, we have activity logs, we have diagnostic logs, operating system log, so which we can enable, we can store, and we would be able to create alerts on log as well as on metrics based on our requirement. And we can visualize as well using Insight, dashboard, workbooks, or we can create Power BI dashboards as well. So telemetry like event, trace, and performance data can be combined for analysis, where you can combine your data and you would be able to analyze your data which you are collecting from different sources. Describe activity log events. So send data to log analytic for advanced search and alerts. So whatever log you are generating, you will ingest your log into a storage, and the storage is known as log analytics. Log analytics, where you will store your data. So storing data into log analytics, we would be able to query. So query or manage events either into portal through PowerShell CLI or using REST APIs. Stream information from event to Event Hub as well. So whatever data you are collecting, you can stream those data to Event Hub as well. Archive data to storage account. Analyze data with Power BI, where you can create your dashboards. Query with activity log. So simply on portal. When it comes to portal, how we will query? We will use these filters, which you can see here. So we will use filter, like if I'm using management group, so inside management group there would be departments. So in which department I'm going to query my logs. Then subscription, might be I'm using 4 subscriptions, 6 subscription, or 1 subscription. I will select my subscriptions. Then time spent 6 hours, 24 hours, 3 days, 90 days. Correct. I will select my time spent and event severity level, or it means informational, warning, critical, successful. So these type of severity level which I will select, and based on that I will get output and I can query my logs on portal. Simple. And you can pin your current filter. So whatever filter you will select here, you can pin that filter to your dashboard. Correct? So that later you can use, you can download into CSV file as well. Next lesson, configuring Azure Alert. So rather than reading slide, let me show you hands-on labs as well so that you can easily understand this concept. So let me go to my portal. First, let me create 2 resources, one Azure Virtual Machine, second a storage account. So let me search Virtual Machine. Let me click on Create Azure Virtual Machine. I'm creating a new resource group, M11 RG1 Module 11 Resource Group 1. Click on OK. Virtual Machine name VM1. You can give any name, totally up to you. Region Central India. Availability option, no infrastructure redundancy required. Image, I'm going to use Windows Server 2022 data center. Let me scroll down. Let me give a password. Username and password to my virtual machine. Then next, disk, networking, do not review. So tabs, directly click on review and create. And click on create to start deployment of your virtual machine. Virtual machine deployment will be start. Meanwhile, we are going to create storage account as well. So let me create a storage account. Existing resource group, storage account name, Sanjay Demo AZ. Region Central India, rest I'm leaving as it is. Let me click on review and create. Deployment is started for storage account and it will be completed in few seconds. Meanwhile, let me go to monitoring service. So how you will access monitoring platform of Azure? You will search monitor. You can see you will get an output monitor. Select. So this would be UI of Azure Monitor. Left hand side you will get activity logs where you would be able to trace your users activity. Let me show you. So if I will click on activity, I would be able to see activity as per my management group. Here you can see your filters. So you can query your users activity using your management group or your subscriptions. If you're using more than one subscription, you can select your subscription as well. Severity level where you can see if you remember critical, error, warning or informational. I'm going with all. Then you can select your time span, last 1 hour, 6 hours, 24 hours. Based on that, you would be able to see your users activity where you can see I created a virtual machine. So creating and updating public IP addresses because a public IP address will be also created along with my VM. So you would be able to see, if you will refresh, you would be able to see different type of activities which are performed by me. So who initiated this activity? Initiated by me. If you want, you can click on your activity, like I'm going to click on this activity, validate deployment, where you can see event initiated by me, time, date. If you want more information, you can go to JSON and where you would be able to read other information in depth, in detail information, your activity type, administrative. So you would be able to see all the activities along with your IP address, which you can see here, IPv6 address, which I use to initiate this activity. Correct. So you can trace your users activity using activity log. At subscription level, what if I want to trace my user activity and resource group level? So under subscription, you will get resource groups. So simply you need to go back to resource groups, open your resource group, where left hand side you will get same tab activity logs. And here you would be able to see, you will get your activity, one more filter which is added here, resource group, in which you would be able to see create deployment, which is started and accepted. Succeeded, validate deployment succeeded, create or update disk accepted. You would be able to see, you will get other information as well. It will take time, correct? And you would be able to trace your users activity. So users who are performing different actions on your subscription, on your resource group, on resource as well. Let me go to now resource level. So let me go to virtual machine. Let me open my VM. Left hand side you will get activity log for your resource as well, which you can see create or update virtual machine. That is initiated by me, correct? So from here we would be able to trace our users activity. Let me go back to monitor tab. Next option is alert. So we will discuss about alert and I'll show you practically how we will create an alert matrix. So first we have activity log, second we have matrix. So again I can trace my resource matrix numerical value. How? So first you will select your resource type. For which resource you are going to get metric. So let me remove select all and let me select virtual machine only. Virtual machine, service, location. If you want, you can use location filter. Otherwise, you can select your resource directly. So here it will list your all virtual machines which would be in different regions just because I selected all locations. So you can use your location filter as well if your virtual machines are in different or in a specific location. Select your virtual machine, VM1, for which you're going to get metrics. Click on apply. So this will be my scope now. Now, which type of metric you are going to monitor? CPU credit, consumed, remaining, disk, read, write, bandwidth, network in, out. So we have lots of type of metrics here. So let me show you a simple metric which would be percentage CPU. That means average CPU utilization for your virtual machine. That is called percentage CPU, which you can see right now that is 60%, just because whenever you will deploy any Azure virtual machine, so in background Microsoft will install agents inside your virtual machine which will increase CPU utilization for few minutes, like for 1 or 2 minutes. So after 1 or 2 minutes your CPU utilization will be reduced to between 1 to 5%. So from here you will get your average CPU utilization. Now you can use this metric which you can pin, which you, based on this metric you can create alert as well, correct? I'm going to show you how we will create alert from alerts tab. So I can create alert based on this matrix based on activity logs through both options. Let me show you. how we will create alert. So go to alert tab where you can see right now there's no alert available. No worries. Here we have a tab create. So click on create alert rule. Simple. First you will select your resource type. So click on drop down. Again you can select your resource type for which you're going to create alert, or you can see here it will list your subscription and your resource groups. Under your subscription and under resource group you will get your resources. Like I'm going to expand my resource group M11 in which you will get your virtual machine. So either you can use filter or you can expand your resource group and services. So let me select a VM1 which I'm going to select as a scope for my alert. Let me click on apply. So this would be my scope. Now condition, click on next. So here you can see we have different options, like I can select percentage CPU matrix, or I can click on see all signals. In see all signals we would be able to select matrix or activity logs. Let me show you signal types. So log search, resource health, matrix, activity log. Now here we have granularity. I can select my data type. Let me select your activity log. So again, it depends on you. You can select activity log or you can select matrix. That is totally up to you. Correct? I'm going with activity log. If I will select activity log, it will list all the activity logs here. Let me search here restart. So this virtual machine is a business critical virtual machine for me. Correct? If this VM will be reboot, so there should be some notification so that I can troubleshoot. So let me select this activity as condition. So this would be my condition, restart virtual machine. Next, go to action. So to perform action, you have to create an action group. So you can see we have two options, select action group. If you already have an action group which you created previously, you can use your existing action group, or you can create a new action group as well. Let me click on create a new action group just because I don't have existing. Resource group M11. Action group name, I'm going to give here easy demo. Display name, same. Next, notification. So how you will receive notification. So notification type, where we have two options which you can see, email as your resource manager role. So your Azure resource manager who will receive a email, or I can send email to external email ID. I can send a SMS to external mobile number, push or voice notification. Let me select second option. Let me show you how we can send notification to external identities. Name, first let me give a name which will be email. Then let me select email, SMS, two options, and let me select here. Let me type my email ID here, where I will receive notification if my virtual machine will be reboot. Then mobile number, let me use my country code first, then my mobile number. So whenever you will enter your mobile number, so you will receive a message that you are added into an action group, as well as you will receive an email also which you mentioned here. Click on OK. Click on next action. So based on this trigger, whenever you will receive an email, you can set up actions as well. So what type of action I can perform? You can see here, I can run an automation runbook, Azure function, event hub, ITSM tool. I can send this information to ITSM tool where a ticket will be created, logic app, secure webhook or webhook. I'm not going to use any action type. We will check a notification only. Next, go to tags, review, and simply create this alert. Create this alert. So first action group will be created. Second, once action group will be created here, now go to next details tab where you will fill up your alert rule name like VM1 restart alert. Description, if you want, you can enter description as well here. So you can provide custom properties, that means tags, to your alert, which I'm not going to do right now. Let me click on next, review, and create this alert. So click on create, alert will be created. So as you can see, alert rule is created here. Now let me show you how we will receive a notification. Right now there is no alert available here, which you can see. No worries. Let's do one thing. Let's go back to, let me open a duplicate tab. And let me go to my virtual machine for which I created alert. Let me open this VM and let me manually reboot this virtual machine. So click on restart, click on yes, your VM will be reboot. It will take few minutes to reboot your virtual machine. Correct. So we have to wait for alert. Meanwhile, let me go to my slides and let me show you what we configured into alerts. So manage Azure Monitor alerts, unified authoring experience you will get, displayed by severity level. What is severity level? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So it means based on the severity, like again, informational, critical, warning, security. So you can set up a severity level to your alerts. Categorized by new, what it does mean. So whenever you will receive a new alert, like similar to ticketing system, if a ticket will be received, ticket will be always received as a new ticket. So you will acknowledge to your ticket. Correct. So ticket you will receive, alert you will receive into new condition. Then you will acknowledge your alert. After then you will find a root cause. And then you will close your alert and or your ticket. It's the same process. Same ideation process we will follow here. Next demonstration, which I already shown you, creating and configuring an alert and review alert. So once we will receive alert, I'll show you how we will review a alert. Next, creating alert rules. So scope, first you will select a target. So target selection, alert criteria, alert logic, you will select, then alert rule details like alert rule name, description, severity level. Action group you will create in which you will receive notification and you will set a action. So notify your team via email, text message, or automate your actions using webhooks or runbooks where you will run your commands. Create action group. You can create action group, which I already shown you how we will create. So configure the method in which user will be notified when the action group will be triggered, when actions will be triggered. So configure the method in which actions are performed when the action group triggers. That means actions where you can run automation. We're done with this lesson. Last lesson, which is for configuring log analytics. What it is. So hope you all remember logs which our resources are generating either into cloud. Let me give you an idea. So Azure, AWS, GCP, on-prem, correct. So what we will do, we will create into Azure, we will create a workspace that is known as log analytic workspace, where you would be able to ingest all Azure logs as well as other cloud logs, as well as your on-prem log for on-premise resources. So how we will ingest on-premise resources into on-premises, there should be a server which is known as SCOM, System Center Operation Manager, which is a on-premise monitoring solution, which is provided by Microsoft. So it's a system center family like SCCM, SCVMM, SCOM, DPM, correct. All these products are known as System Center family product. So SCOM is known as System Center Operation Manager provided by Microsoft, which would be your on-premise monitoring tool, which you will connect with Log Analytic Workspace. So whenever you will connect SCOM to Log Analytic Workspace, your all resource logs will be stored into Log Analytic Workspace. What benefit I will get by storing my logs into Log Analytic Workspace? I can query my log. I can easily query and troubleshoot, and based on that I can analyze. So for troubleshooting purpose, for querying purpose, I will use Log Analytic Workspace, and in cloud you will get the logs stored. So let's check this lesson. This would be last lesson for our module. Determining log analytic uses. So what would be uses of log analytics? A service that helps you to collect, you can collect and analyze data which is generated by sources in your cloud or on-premise environment as well as in other clouds. Write logs queries. So you can write your log queries interactively. You can analyze their results. So based on the query, you will get output which you can analyze. Examples including assessing system updates, troubleshooting operational incidents. So operational incidents, if we are patching our system, so after patch, if there would be any bug which comes into your system and you want to troubleshoot when you last patch your systems, so you would be able to query just because you're storing logs into log analytic workspace where you can query. So review built-in log queries, review the KQL language, what it is. So when it comes to query, so we would be able to run a query that is known as KQL into log analytic workspace, quest to query language, which you will use and you will create a query. But I'll show you practically. Create a workspace. We can create, first we have to create a log analytic workspace where you will store your logs. So create a workspace into Azure resource and in a container where data is collected, aggregated, analyzed and presented. You can have multiple workspace, that means more than one workspace per Azure subscription, and you can have access to more than one workspace. That is totally up to you. Next, a workspace provides a geographic location, that means it's a regional service, data isolation and scope. Scope is tables in which your logs will be stored, and you would be able to, similar to SQL database, so in which your data will be stored and you can query your data using SQL queries. Similarly, in log analytic workspace, you will get tables in which your data will be stored. You will be able to run your queries. So here queries are known as KQL, similar to SQL queries. So query log analytic data, how we can query? Common query and query language we will use, that is known as KQL for custom search. Quickly retrieve and consolidate data in the repository where you can see left hand side you will get your tables. Save or have log search run automatically to create an alert. So you can save your search and you would be able to set up alerts as well based on your search. Export data, you can export your data into Power BI and Excel for analyzing purpose. Structured log analytic queries. So how queries are structured? So Windows event logs. If you want to check Windows event log, you will run event query. So event will be your query where you will use pipelines to customize your query. Syslog for Linux. Syslog. Agents, heartbeat you can use. What is agent? So when I'm saying that we have different type of resources into Azure for which data will be generated and this data will be collected into log analytics. How data will be collected into stored into log analytics? So we will install, that means log analytic will be installed a agent inside your resources. So if we have to check how many resources are connected to my log analytic workspace, I will run this command, this query, heartbeat query, to check my resources which are connected to my log analytic workspace. Custom log search, my log underscore CL, alert rules. If I have to create alert rule or if I have to check alert rule, I will use alert and other tables as well. So we have different syntaxes which we can use and we can execute our queries. Again, write your first query with quest to query language. How we will check? Just because we do not have any log analytic workspace, so let me do one thing. Let me show you first of all how we will create a log analytic workspace. This module is completed. Syllabus is also completed. Let me show you practically how we will create our log analytic workspace first. So simply we have to search log analytics where you can see you will get a resource log analytic workspace. Click on it. So you will get by default a log analytic workspace if you will create cloud storage. That means this cloud shell. Let me click on create now. I'm going to create a custom log analytic. Existing resource group. Name, let me give a name here which will be log 0101. Region will be Central India where I have resources. Next tags, review. So pricing will be pay as you go. Per GB charges would be there. So creating log analytic is very simple. Simply you have to give log analytic workspace name. You have to select your region and your resource group. Create. After then create. Once it will be created, I'll show you how we will connect our resources to this log analytic workspace. So first option, what I can do, I will go to left hand side on my log analytic workspace, where if I'll scroll down to left hand side, you would be able to see virtual machine service, where I can connect my virtual machine. It will list all the VMs. You can see here VM1, which is not connected to any log analytic workspace. Sorry. So you will click on the virtual machine. There's a tab connect. So whenever you will click on connect, in background it will install a agent inside the virtual machine. So before going to click on connect, let me show you on previous tab. Let me go to virtual machines. Let me open my VM, and left hand side let me go to extensions tab, where you can see right now there's no extension running on my VM. Let me click on connect. So whenever I will click on connect, if I go back to my virtual machine, let me refresh here, you would be able to see Microsoft Monitoring Agent. This extension is running now. So in background, Agent will be installed inside your virtual machine, which will send monitoring data to Log Analytic Workspace. Similarly, I can connect, let me go back to my Log Analytic Workspace. Similarly, I can connect my storage account as well. So let me show you. Like storage account, so I can select my add my storage account as well for custom log and IAS log, for saved queries, for saved logs and alert queries, where I can archive as well my logs. So I can connect my storage account as well. I can connect my on-premise system as well using System Center SCOM, which you can see, but I don't have SCOM right now into my on-premises, into my local system. But if you have to connect on-premise, you will use System Center. Connecting, ingesting log and querying log, it will take lots of time. From where you will query your log, left hand side you will get this logs tab, where you will execute your query. But you should have queries, you should have data, then you would be able to query your log. But right now we do not have any data. So how we will test? What we will do, we'll go to our browser tab, and where we will search Azure Log Analytic Workspace demo. Let me search this. First link I'm going to open here. Yeah, so let me copy and paste this link into the chat box as well, so that you can save this link for future reference, and you will get same link into your lab as well. Let me scroll down here. You can see we have an option here, log analytics demo environment. So just because ingesting log, it will take time. So we have to wait for log data. So Microsoft is offering us a demo environment where we can execute our logs. So let me click on this demo environment. It will be loaded into my Azure account, and where I would be able to execute my queries. So as you can see, demo environment, which is now available. Let me close this. After that, let me go to so left hand side you can see tables which are created by Microsoft, just because based on this table, the resources which are connected for which monitoring data, that means log data, is ingested. If you want to run your query, so in center you have query panel where you can execute your queries. Like if I have to run a query which would be Azure activity, then pipe sign, where my activity status space equals to, and then succeeded. In quotes, let me run this. After run this, so if there would be any data which would be available, you will get response. Otherwise, what you can do, you can again customize based on your requirement. You can add another line where you can add another type sign where operation name equals to. So again, you have to remember queries so that you would be able to execute your query. Restart watcher machine. Correct. You can add another line where you can specify your VM for which you are going to execute this query, where resource equals to VM1, just because we rebooted VM1 previously. Now I can execute this query. Let me run this query and you would be able to see data. Right now, there's no data just because I'm running this query into my into demo environment where there would be no VM1 available. But yes, you will run this query to get a output. So you would be able to see VM1 which will be rebooted. So again, if I have to check how many resources are connected to my log analytic workspace, I can use heartbeat command. Where you can see, you will run heartbeat. Let me run only heartbeat first. So select and run. You would be able to see it will list all the systems, resources which will be connected to my log analytic workspace, which you can see 30,000 plus resources which are connected, where you will get time generated, source computer ID, computer IP address, computer name, category, and lots of information which would be available in this output. What you can do, you can customize this output just because I don't want this much of information. So I need only specific information of those resources. So what I will do, I will run my command heartbeat, and after heartbeat I will use pipe sign. So let me use pipe sign. Then I will run a custom query project only computer. One second. Computer name, then comma, computer IP, comma, OS type. I only want this information into output. Let me run this query. Okay, so computer name, which is a wrong query. So let me remove it. Project only computer IP and OS type. Let me run this. As you can see, it will project computer IP addresses and their operating system type. That's how you can customize your query. But the main thing is we have to remember queries, and it would be difficult for all of us to remember query. So what we can do on the same UI, same tool where you are executing your query, right hand side you will see queries, where you will get sample queries which you can customize now again based on your requirement. So click on queries. Microsoft will give you category, like left hand side you will get your tables. So you can select your category, like I'm going to query virtual machines. I'm going to run a query for virtual machine. So for virtual machine, what type of sample queries are available, which you can see here. So all these queries are for virtual machines, correct? So which you can use and you would be able to execute. You can customize based on your requirement. That is totally up to you. So let me check here, restart, response time, okay. So there's no query for computer restart and shutdown. Yeah. Let me click on run this query. So you would be able to see heartbeat. Will let me remove this first two queries which I executed previously. So event. So restart is an event and shutdown is also an event. Event where event log system, source, user 32, event ID 1074, search shutdown. Let's run this query. So you would be able to see output. There's no query, there's no log data available for shutdown computers. So you can again use sample queries and you will be able to customize based on requirement. You can add your system as well, for which you're going to check your query. Correct? Hope that is clear. We are done with this module. Let me show you now my alert also, which I received. So let me go to my monitoring platform. Let me go to alerts tab, where you would be able to see one alert is triggered here, VM1 restart alert, and user response is new. So how we will change user response? Let me click on it. It will be open. You would be able to see user response. Click on user response. Click on drop down, select acknowledged, and type a comment here. After then, close. Type your comment here, that is root cause. Click on save. It means you troubleshooted this event. So that's how we can create alert. We can set up alert and we can interact with our alerts.